It is the time for us to have a hard look at the current physical framework that essentially regulates the industry. There are plans in the works to have the PIB passed prior to COVID-19, to have the PIB passed second quarter of the year. I think early on last year, there was an adjustment and amendment to the deepwater bill. So our question, and the recurring question that is coming up, is this: what are your thoughts on the current physical framework? What are your thoughts on the nature of the PIB right now? The regulations as they are right now, are they, especially with the COVID-19 situation, isn't this the time to have a hard look at our physical framework and policies that are regulating the industry, and see how we can take a look at them and strategically place Nigeria for competitiveness in the oil and gas space globally?
Well, thank you. Again, on this vexing issue of current fiscal framework, PIB and regulation. Every time that I've had the opportunity anywhere in Africa to either meet people or engage people on the very, very serious issue of regulation, as a Nigerian, I feel a little bit injured that we have, unfortunately, for the last 10 years or more, gone on this journey in a wild cycle of trying to get the regulation right. And when you think in terms of less endowed countries like Nigeria, and when I say less endowed, I'm talking in terms of the sheer dimension and diversity of the oil and gas industry. I take countries like Ghana, I take countries like Angola, South Sudan, small country, Uganda, Kenya. They have taken the issue of fiscal framework quite seriously as a must deliver legislative target. And in a very, very short, I said if we look at the sheer dimension and size of our endowment as a country in Nigeria, our oil and gas industry is very, very large. When you take that framework and compare it to smaller, less endowed countries, and I specifically talked about Ghana, I talked about Angola, I talked about South Sudan, I talked about Kenya, Uganda. These are countries that have taken the legislative charter of an effective fiscal framework seriously enough as a legislative must deliver target. Here we're in Nigeria, we have been talking about PIB for more than 10 years. And it's really, it's very disconcerting when you as a Nigerian sit in conversations with smaller countries that have been able to put the PIB of their respective countries in place, and we have not been able to. So this brings to the fore the need that we really must drop everything else and take the matter of a PIB very seriously. The time has come when we really must have one. And I must say very, very clearly that a couple of months ago, there was a very, very positive move by the current government that they really want to deliver a PIB. Now, I was saying that there is very, very strong message from the government that it clearly intends to address the matter of the PIB. And I'm saying that I hope that COVID-19 and the impact of low oil price notwithstanding, the government should not derail from that promise. We seriously need now more than ever a real fiscal framework. And the PIB is the way to that, to achieving that. It's got to be given some very serious legislative push. And it must be seen as a target that has to be met by the current legislative organs of government.
Right. So before we leave the PIB conversation, it seems like there's emphasis from you that it's better we have a framework, whether it's good, bad, very bad. Let's have something rather than have nothing. And that the impact of that vacuum, that uncertainty, has detrimental impacts on the industry. Is that what you're implying?
That is very so. I have always felt that you can never have a very good legislation, completely good legislation. So if you derive from that, a not too good legislation is better than none. And when you see what Nigeria has lost in the last 5 years, simply because it has not been able to put its house in order, investment had gone into other destinations where the rules are very clear. Our investors that have any quantum of money to invest, they are, and to allow it to be put in a place where the uncertainties are what it is in Nigeria. The uncertainties of the lack of a PIB is hurting the industry. It's hurting even wider ramifications beyond the industry, because our industry is a catalyst itself. It has other things, the banking industry, for example, and all those other associated aspects of the economy that ought to thrive at the backbone of the petroleum industry are not being able to take, they can't take advantage of that critical mass. So what I'm saying is a PIB is a very, very serious, necessary thing that Nigeria must have, not next year. And I just once again hope that the joint impact of COVID-19 and the global slump in oil price will not derail the attention of the current government to ensure that they are able to deliver a PIB signed into law.